So Laris isn't Laris. Brent Spiner is a different Sung. Daj or Soji is a different person. And Q is seemingly acting not like Q. What? Obviously, and we're introduced to Rene Picard, who is Captain Picard's ancestor, and that is who Laris's Watcher character is looking after. They make a reference to the Watcher character. They make a reference to Gary Seven from Annihilation, or from the original TOS episode, and they talk about what their role is. And they basically, she just goes, "Oh, we're watching your ancestor." And as I said last week, I'm not sure if I like the idea. It's a bit, oh, well, if Picard isn't there, the whole world goes to shit. And we'll see how it plays out. In terms of Rene Picard, she's obviously going through depression, the stress of being the woman to go on the rocket to Europa mission. And she's having anxiety and depression, and it turns out that Q is her therapist, which is a bit weird. So Raffi and Seven get Rios out of the bus by using some sort of EMP device. Raffi sees a guy who kind of looks like Elnor, and she's a bit like, oh, taken aback by it. And then we're sort of left with Picard and Laris talking and explaining what her role is in this whole mission. And Picard talks about how he's there from the future and stuff like that. And she shows him a video of Picard and the therapist. The therapist turns out to be Q, as I said before. And Picard just gets enraged. Oh my God, Q's the therapist. To be honest, John Delancey as my therapist would be quite entertaining. We are introduced to another Sung, which is obviously Brent Spiner, who's trying to save his daughter from some sort of condition where she's sensitive to dust and everything, and she'll die immediately. And at first I'm going, is this the same Sung who was in Enterprise and he travelled back in time because he's doing genetics? And I think it's just another Sung character, of which I was a bit like, does Brent Spiner need to play every ancestor? Surely at this point they need to explain why he's playing every version of of the Sung family. Other than that daughter. He doesn't get funding for his work into genetics to try and help his daughter, so he gets pissed off. We have a nice little cameo from Marty McFly's mum from Back to the Future, and it's an interesting scene. Like, I like the motivations of the character. I just don't know why it had to be Brent Spiner, which hopefully is explained later on in the series. So he goes home. He's disheveled, and somehow Q contacts him over the internet. And my thought is, are they trying to make Q like the actual Q, if you know what I mean? As in, like, internet Trump people Q. And he basically says, let's meet up, I can help you. They meet up. He gives him a little bullet thing with some blue liquid in it. Turns out it's a cure. The Sung character puts the cure into his daughter. His daughter's cured. What Q failed to mention is it's a temporary measure, and obviously Q has things he wants him to do. And that's pretty much that entire storyline is Sung is going to help Q because he has leverage. Girardi is obviously still looking after the Borg Queen, and the Borg Queen uses this really cool scene where she uses the different voices to hack the computer, calls the police come, and then she basically holds the police officer hostage when he enters the ship, and just says, Girardi, join me, join me, join me. And Girardi takes a surprising turn of shooting her in the head. And then we cut back to them coming up with a plan of what they're going to do in this scenario. They've got to meet Rene Picard. They've got to convince her to do this mission. Girardi goes in because she has to hack a server which is detached so she can add them to the guest list. And then the episode ends on us discovering that Girardi's been injected with nanoprobes and is being assimilated or has the Borg Queen inside of her, which was a really good cliffhanger. The Girardi stuff was really, really good. And I feel like this episode was a bit mixed paced. So this episode felt like it had some really good bits in it, like Girardi and the Borg Queen, which has been good consistently. I feel like Picard keeps getting the sit down and talk to people role. I suppose he is quite old. Raffi and Seven, their story's pretty much over. And it's the same with Girardi. The story's there. The story's about Girardi, but there's a lot of focus on Renee Picard and her depression and how things. And look, bringing up depression in a show is always good. Obviously, the message is great. Depression can be debilitating in people, and it can be horrific for people. So I'm interested to see where it goes. I didn't think, once again, like last week, it wasn't the strongest episode of the season. It certainly felt like there's too many people playing different roles. Like, why is the Watcher not Laris? Why is Sung looking like Brent Spiner? And why is Q acting not like Q? And with Q, I'm going, Q has this sort of murderous motive, and he says, I'm the destroyer. And he talks about himself like he's the most evil villain in the universe. And I sat there and went, that's not Q. Q doesn't, Q's menacing, and he does things. He can be that. But there has to be something else going on. This isn't character flaw. My thoughts are that it's probably not Q. It's either a Q from the alternate timeline, or it's not Q at all. Maybe he created himself, if you know what I mean. It just felt very out of character for Q. So overall, the episode was good, not the best. I hope they pick it up next episode with Girardi being infected with the Borg nanoprobes. Hopefully that means we get a little bit more like really cool Borg action. Hopefully she doesn't stay unborgified for the rest of the season, because that would be annoying. We all assume she's going to be the Borg Queen at the end. I think at this point it's pretty obvious. Tell me what you think. Make sure to subscribe, like, comment. I answer all the comments. If you look at my last videos, I've answered them all. And I'll see you next time for episode 6. And I'll also be doing a top 5 Starfleet captains video, which will be coming out straight after this.